Most houses have outdoor walls or fences. Some are made of rendered brick and they're strong, pretty soundproof, and many think they look good. But they're expensive. Others, made of wood, are cheap. Yay! But they're not as strong, not as good at keeping out sound, and many think not as pretty. So what to do? What about an outdoor wall that acts like brick but isn't brick?
To build a fence that's durable, soundproof, easy to assemble and looks good can be an expensive task. So I've invented a fencing system that gives you the look of a rendered brick wall for about 1/3 of the price. My system is made of a flat compressed polystyrene core that lays between fibre cement panels. These then slot into specially designed posts made of steel that are then cemented into the ground. The panels can stack on top of one another for height or in various sizes to get the effect of a low wall. Quick wall is easy to render or paint so you can get the effect you want. And the system also provides excellent noise insulation from a main road, just what you need for modern day living.
Please welcome from Sydney, Nick Holden. Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Now, this is one of your walls, and if we can just have a bit of a look at the cross-section of it, what's it made of?
It's a composite panel. It's fibre cement outer skin, the polystyrene core and another layer of fibre cement. They're all bonded together to form a structural panel.
And you reckon it's sort of as tough as brick, or nearly as tough?
It's incredibly strong, yeah, when they're bonded together, so it forms a structural panel and you won't get any deflection or anything of that nature.
All right, well, can you build a wall for us?
Yep. So essentially what you'd do, you'd set your post system in the ground first. After they're set, you'd come along with your panels. Each panel weighs...
So they're not heavy, obviously?
No, each panel weighs approximately 20 kilos for a large one. Just basically slot it in there, slides down the post system.
Now that looks suspiciously like it's quicker than bricklaying to me. If you were building a wall that's this high and 10 metres long, out of this and out of brick, what's the time comparison?
A brick wall would probably take you about 3 to 4 days due to the fact of the strip footings and so forth. And this one, after you set your post system in the ground, which will take you a few hours, you let that set and then you come back and slide your panels in. So essentially for 10 metres you could be in and out within probably about 5 to 6 hours.
And the cost comparison between the brick and this?
Brick wall, comparable size at 1.8 metres, runs out to about $600 to $700 a lineal metre.
Yeah, a lineal metre just means a metre long.
Correct, yeah. Where this one's approximately about $200.
So about a third?
It's about a third, yeah.
Okay, come across and sit down. Alison Page.
Yeah, Nick,
what do you think?
I think this is fantastic, and I think that the do-it-yourself aspect of it is what's going to make it really popular. But I'd like to sort of ask you, are you looking at any kind of design variations, as in sort of varying thicknesses of the wall, or making it pre-finished?
Yeah, I do at the moment actually. We do sort of basically a small, medium and large version, this one being the medium, which is built around brick dimensions. We also do a version, a more economical one, it's a thinner panel, thinner post, and then a larger one which is basically a brick and a half size.
Are there any issues with flammability at all?
There's not. Basically all edges of the panels are encapsulated on all four corners. The polystyrene itself is fire retardant, so it will never sustain a fire.
James?
Yeah, Nick, I'm interested in the strength of the wall. Have you had it tested for high wind areas, or are there any building standards that it has to meet?
Do you want to go and give it a punch?
Yep. It qualifies for all terrain and wind loading categories throughout Australia.
And it's flexible enough so that if you had foundations moving, the wall could cope? It wouldn't split?
That's a big advantage over brick, to be honest. So you'll never get a crack in the wall due to the fact the panels are always floating in the post system.
Actually, that was something I was going to mention, because you often see with these wooden paling walls that, you know, after about 5-10 years they start to sag and they're moving and falling over. And in 10 years, what's that going to look like?
Essentially, I mean, they're on a very large footing, so without any major ground movement, it should look the same. It's got a design life of 25 years on the wall system.
The other thing I was interested in was your name, Quick Wall. I wonder whether
that's not his name.
No. I just wonder whether that does you justice, because quick wall is going to suit people who love the idea of buying it. But once it's installed and you're trying to get something that you're going to sell,
Sure.
It's installed with a quick wall, is it going to do it justice? I think maybe you should look at something that's a bit more designery, like Contempo something, or, designer something.
Trendo wall.
Trendo. Something that's going to add value to it, to make it look as if the person has bought it because it looks so fantastic, they've made an aesthetic decision.
If you're telling us that this is as strong as
Yes.
brick and nearly as durable as brick, would you say?
I would. I'd agree with that.
Then is there any reason why you can't use it to build a whole house out of?
You could probably use the panel in that application. It's something that we're looking at the moment.
Do you want a house made out of polystyrene, though, from an environmental point of view? All that polystyrene?
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
They're
I
used
don't
for
know.
second stories, though, because they aren't as heavy as
Yeah, I
brick.
mean, polystyrene is a very common building material nowadays. I mean, the majority of the polystyrene in that is recycled. It's not affected by white ants or anything like that.
Oh, look, I hope... summing up, I was going to say I hope your invention isn't infected by the human version of white ants.
No, no.
Summing up, Alison.
Look, Nick, it's the aesthetics of this that are going to sell it, and the unconsidered aesthetics of a lot of metal fences are such a problem now in a lot of suburban areas that councils are starting to write about them in their design guidelines.
Yep.
So I think you've just come right in there at the right time.
James?
Well, I think you've got a real alternative here for the home builder.
Christine?
When it's rendered with the cappings on, it actually looks very smart.
Please thank Nick Holden. Well done, Nick.
Cheers.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done. Thank you.
In a moment, we'll find out which invention our judges will pick as tonight's winner, but first, have a look at this.